Holy smokes, I feel like I have to come back to Canadiens content because covering these playoffs and dealing with these Florida fans, it's driving me nuts. I wouldn't be surprised if they followed me into this video just to neg me. You never want to paint a community too much with like a broad brush, but the Florida Panthers fans in these videos, I mean, it's a donkey fest.
Does get to the bench. Arvidsson past him. Losing forward.
I've never really been quiet about this. I've talked before about how I've got some love for every team in the NHL, except for the Vegas Golden Knights, Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Florida Panthers. And it's not for the reason you think it is. It's not just because they are the have markets in the NHL. Because they all have like at least one player on the team, you know, several usually, that I can't stand, that don't play the game the right way, and it bugs the ever living cripes out of me. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the Montreal Canadiens and the current news that's been going around. Good news, great news, fun news. Let's talk about it. It's been a while, guys. Well, I did do that video recently of the Montreal Canadiens being mentioned during the intermission of the Stanley Cup Finals between the Oilers and the Panthers. Josh Anderson specifically was catching some strays. If you haven't watched that video, go back and check it out. There's not much meat on the bone there. I wasn't expecting it to be a super popular video or anything, but I thought it was kind of funny. But we have some really cool news to discuss. I recently polled some of my members about what they'd like to see over the summer. Kind of like loose content. We're not going to be reviewing games anymore, right? So yeah, my members got back at me with some suggestions about what we should be doing. And I like it. You guys are smart. I like the community that we're creating here. It's not just a bunch of individuals throwing spaghetti on the wall, trying to see what fits, what sticks. Come to find out, you guys like news that's newsworthy. You don't just like rumor mill type stuff. You don't want to hear about how Sidney Crosby could be coming to the Canadiens. If Jack Guy finds some magic beans, he plants them and it grows a beanstalk up into the clouds and there's a castle there, and Mario Lemieux will trade Sidney Crosby to the Montreal Canadiens for whatever reason. I think that I will stick to the stuff that's verifiable, that has sources. And what's great about that is I don't trivialize your time and I feel good about doing it. That being said, I'd feel really good if you hit that subscribe button. We're definitely growing. We're still growing, even though the Canadiens aren't playing. We're at 14,000, almost 15,000 subscribers. Can you help me reach that benchmark? If you're already subscribed, you know what to do. Hit that like button. It helps me out with, I don't know, findability or something. It's important. Please hit the like button. Let's start off with the real feel-good stuff. And that is Lane Hutson winning the 24-25 Calder. He's the first Canadiens player to win the Calder since Ken Dryden back in 1992. We had to say tickety because the New Brunswickers traded the word 70 with the Acadians, and the Acadians came out of the woods and they acclimated back into civilization. Something like that. What makes this even more impressive is that he beat out Macklin Celebrini, who outscored Connor Bedard last season, Matvei Michkov, who scored 26 goals, and Dustin Wolf, who really made a drive for Calgary to make it to the playoffs this season. Unfortunately, they came up a little bit short. Not Montreal, though. Montreal made it into the playoffs, and a lot of that is a credit to Hudson's Calder season. And he didn't just win. He dominated. 165 votes out of the possible 191. He had 66 points this season, ranking 6th amongst all NHL defensemen. He tied Larry Murphy's rookie defenseman assist record in the final game of the season. That assist sent the Montreal Canadiens to the playoffs. And what's even more rare about this, Hudson led all rookies in scoring, including forwards. Only 3 defensemen have ever done that before. Those defensemen, you might have heard of them. It's Bobby Orr, Brian Leetch, and Kent Hughes. 2 Hall of Famers, 1 current captain. I mean, that's elite company. But looking forward, what does this really mean for the Montreal Canadiens? I've seen people that are negative about this. They're saying, oh, great, his contract's going to be like $12 million a year. And I kind of get it, you know, but this is, I mean, the last time a Montreal Canadien was awarded a trophy was Carey Price. This is building the composition of the team even better than what we thought the foundation was going to be previous to this season. The outlook now feels a lot different. With a much younger roster, we're looking at potentially creating more upside. I keep thinking that if we're patient, this is going to be a dynasty. If we rush it, I don't know, maybe we win like 5 cups instead of 10. Kidding, but I mean the outlook for the future looks good. They're the youngest team to make the playoffs this season, and now they might have a shot at 2 Calders in a row. Now, shifting gears a little bit, Elliotte Friedman has recently confirmed that Kent Hughes is very active on the trade market. The Canadiens are actually one of 3 very aggressive teams leading into the 2025 draft. I followed Elliotte Friedman for a long time now, since his podcast was called Six Thoughts. I think that was back in the Ticketies, actually. You don't really get a good sense of how he obtains his information. We do know that managers from all teams can be in constant contact with each other. It's actually really interesting. It's one of those games inside the games of the NHL. But I trust what Elliotte Friedman says, and his track record, speaks for itself. Rumors are swirling about Vegas defenseman Nicolas Hague. Montreal and Pittsburgh are supposedly in the mix. The proposed deal could look something like Hague for Jaden Struble, maybe Xhekaj, something along those lines. Hague is 6'6", 245 pounds left shot defenseman, but he can play on the right side. He's still only 26 years old and known for his defensive ability and potentially underrated offense. He could be a strong fit in Martin St. Louis' defensive unit, especially with the Canadiens seeking to bolster both forward and blue line depth this offseason. Problem is, he's not a right-handed D, right? The other problem is, he hasn't really blown anybody's hair back. He has his shortcomings, and saying that he's only 26 years old, you would hope that he's a little bit further along. I would be very surprised if they obtained Hague. But this is the data that I'm being provided. There was also talk about William Karlsson. That seems to be debunked. I also don't think that the recent rumors about Marchessault potentially being a Montreal Canadian target could come to fruition. He just doesn't fit a lot of the themes of the team. Themes of the team, is that what I want to go with? The word themes? Timeline, need, value. So I'm still wondering what the 2C targets might be, what the right-handed defenseman with maybe a little bit of tenure, who's being targeted there. I don't know. It's just not adding up at this point, and I think that there's going to be more news, and I think that if anything does happen, it's probably going to surprise us a little bit. If they wanted to accelerate development of the team, I think that Xhekaj and Struble could be in trouble, but it doesn't stop there. I think that there could be prospects that are currently in our pool that are doing the same thing as other prospects, but maybe just not as well. They could be in trouble too. They got to figure out soon. I bet you they are extremely busy every day, busting their butts, trying to figure out, hey, is there an upgrade out there that could fill a hole? Maybe they do view Nicolas Hague as a potential upgrade, and the cost isn't crazy either. So watch out for that one. Definitely watch out for that one. Told you I'm not going to bore you with what ifs, but Martin Necas, his name's been floating around recently. Montreal's been interested in him before. Does our market look good now, Mr. Necas? I don't know. We're starting to devolve here. I think I'll call the video here, but I just want to remind you, draft is the 27th. That's 2 weeks and 2 days away. It's going to get spicy here. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to this channel. I'm going to tell you exactly what I hear, and I have problems. I am constantly plugged in. I'm constantly looking in social media, so much so that I have to kind of put my phone away at the end of the day so I can spend time with my family. But hope you guys are good. Hope your families are good. Let me know in the comments how you're doing, what you have planned for summer. Have you guys gotten up to anything with your families? Hope you're all doing really well. Hope you're taking care of yourselves. I went to an awesome concert last night. I saw Clutch. They're kind of like a stoner rock band from Maryland. Anyway, I've been listening to these guys for 20-something years, and they decided to come to my neck of the woods. It was an incredible show. Neil Fallon is just a remarkable frontman, and it was a good time. Nice seeing some friends. Good seeing my buddy Andrew, who I never get to see, but he's like one of my best friends. Yeah, just a good time. Nice to get out. So you know what to do. Like the video if you haven't already. It really helps me out with, search stuff. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I would love to have you as part of this community. And as always, I will see you down in the comments.